Okay, Liba, it's so good to see you. And I know that you're full of all of that good stuff that you got from school and learning psychology and understanding people and how to work with them and how to change lives and even your life. You were telling me some of the things that you're motivating yourself. I mean, that's one of the things that I like about you is, I mean, you always have a positive attitude. And I don't know what it is that you got the strength of, you're ready to go. And the story once you told me about you going to South Africa, you wanted to make it to South Africa. You were going to get there no matter what. So you have that determination that is just unmatched. And so I really appreciate that about you. And well, maybe we talked about some of the principles in psychology and success and things that people need, principles and things like that that people use that you've learned that they need to adapt to be able to succeed. And that's what we're all about is figuring out what it takes to have a person, have us, everybody to do what it is that will cause them to be successful.
Yes, yes.
And maybe you can introduce
Um,
yourself, Libah Shepherd.
okay.
Libah Shepherd.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that warm, kind, beautiful introduction. I am Libah Sheppard. I'm the author of Essence for Safety, the ABCs of Ending Childhood Sexual Abuse. I'm a drug and alcohol counselor. I have my BA in communication. I'm presently working on my MFT, which is marriage family therapist. I'm a reevaluation counselor, a healer, a spiritual guide, and a mother. I think that the most important thing when I look at my life is to breathe. And that sounds so corny, so like, oh my gosh, you do all this stuff and you gonna tell me to just breathe? Absolutely. The breath is our life force, and one of the things that we forget too often to do is to focus on our breath. It is the very essence of the thing that keeps us alive, and yet and still we pay no attention to it. And then what happens is that when we don't pay attention to it, so many negative effects take place. We develop high blood pressure, we develop strokes, we develop heart attacks, we develop swellings, we develop diabetes, we develop so many ailments that are connected to the breath. And then we turn around and we label it all these things. But what we really should label it is stress. It is the stress that we carry on the body. And every single one of us has stress. We're not exempt from it. The thing is not that we have stress. The thing is, how do we manage it? And the first step to managing stress is breath. So I just kind of want to take you through something, just a few moments of what I do. So I wake up first thing in the morning and I close my eyes and I take a deep breath in. Before I even take a deep breath in, I actually just notice what my breath is doing. Does it feel rushed? Does it feel shaky? Does it feel slowed? What is my breath doing? I just pay attention to it. And then after that, I just take a deep breath in and then I hold that breath and then I breathe out. And then many times when I breathe in, I'll breathe in goodness. So I breathe in love, breathe in energy, breathe in wealth, breathe in spirituality, breathing in happiness, breathing in my ancestors, breathing in the future generations, breathing in all the love and peace and happiness and joy. And I just breathe it all into my lungs, into my cells, into my DNA, into my bone structure, breathing in all the goodness. And then I hold it. I hold that breath with my mouth closed. I hold the breath of love, hold the breath of light, hold the breath of prosperity, hold the breath of my ancestors, of spirit, of the future generation, of all things that represent love. I hold it. And then I breathe out, pushing it out of my body. I'm pushing out anything that's negative. anything that doesn't serve me, any fear, anger, frustration, hostility, aggravation, just pushing it away from me. I don't need it in this moment. It doesn't serve me. Any guilt, shame, all that, just pushing it out. And then I come back to my normal breath. And that's what I do to start my day. And then as I'm walking through my day, I'm noticing my breath. Somebody do something to piss me off. I'll count to 10 to get myself calm, just noticing my breath all through the day. And then at night, I do the same thing and I give thanks for the breath. So I feel like our first most important key to us being successful in anything is our breath, because we're not going to be able to do a whole lot if we're ill. And our breath brings us into our health. So then from there, um, I will look at we look at our to-dos, right? What is it that I'm trying to achieve in my life? And then many times I'll ask myself, what can I accomplish in this moment? What can I succeed at in this moment? And I'll do that. And it's broken off it's bit by bit, right? I know it's also important to get that water into our bodies because we get dehydrated. Again, that gets us, sick. And then in our minds, with our visions, when we think about the things that we want to achieve, I think it's important to take a look at, first of all, what is it that you desire? And I don't know how spiritual you are, but what is it that your higher power wants you to achieve? Because I think many times we're going against the grain. And that thing that is for us to do doesn't come with a whole lot of pain, all this and things. It's really meant for us to do. But I feel like many times when it's meant for us to do something, we will have some obstacles that get in the way. And that's just a natural part of life. That's also helping to strengthen us.
What are some of the other things that you have seen, uh, consulting with people and helping them to reach their goals, and I know that it affect you the same. So
Yeah, so many, so many. Just what comes to mind is there was this young man that was in a class of mine, I want to say maybe about 8 years ago. And it was a DUI class that I was teaching. And he came in there and he said to me, he said it was on a Saturday, and we closed early on Saturday. I think I was teaching a morning class and at noon, and the doors are closed like at 1 or something like that. And he came in there, and I was teaching a class, and he came into my class to pull. He said, "I got to tell you something, an emergency." And I was the only one in the office, literally this day, on Saturday. And that's not unusual. A lot of times Saturday, I'd be the only one. And so he said to me, he says, "If I walk out this door, I'm going to use. I'm going to use." He had did my earlier class. He says, "I am going to use if I walk out this door." So I told him, I said, "You sit right there." He said, "I'm really going to use it." I said, "Don't walk out that damn door. Sit down right there." I said, don't move." He was like 30, wasn't even a child or anything, right? He's like in his 30s. I said, "Don't you move. You sit right there. I'm going to finish doing this class and then I'll talk to you when I come out." I said, "But don't you move." So he was like, he said, "Okay." So I did my class. And of course, I don't know if he's going to move or not, right? I'm just talking to. But I did my class, released my class, and I came out and he was sitting there and he was shaking. And he said, "I want to use so bad. I don't know what to do." And tears came up in his eyes. And I know that it's like that decision, right? That either I'm going to give into this craving, it's like having that sugar craving, that cigarette craving, that soda craving, even the sex craving, the shopping craving, because we all have addictions, but it all comes up for us in different ways, right? So it's just like, so I told him, I says, okay, all I can do, I instantly breathe. I breathed, took a breath at that point and said, Spirit, what do you want me to do? So I drove him down to this place. I told him, come on. I put him in my car, which was just like, you don't do that. Like, that was wrong for me to put him in my car. I did not have insurance on him. I did not have the legalities to put him in my car. He was not supposed to go in my car. Everything about that was wrong. I could have drove him in my car and he turned my steering wheel one way. Anything could have happened, right? But my spirit told me put him in my car. I said, come on, put him in the car. I drove him down to this place that had um, around the clock meetings. I think it went from like 6 a.m. to midnight or 11 o'clock p.m., just around the clock meetings. And I told them, I said, you know what? Go in there. I said, and talk about what's going on. I said, and listen. I says, and more than anything, raise your hand and tell them how you feeling right now and ask for a sponsor. Don't leave up out of there until you have a sponsor. So he was just like, okay. I said, so now what are you going to do? So I wanted to make sure that he heard me. He said, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to raise my hand and share, and I'm going to make sure that I ask and get a sponsor before I leave. I said, and sit there meeting after meeting after meeting, until your cravings subside. He said, okay. So about 2 or 3 years later, I saw him. Like, I didn't think about him anymore, because I do things with people all the time and I don't think about it anymore. I just do it and then it goes on. The next thing in life happens. I saw him about 2 or 3 years later. He ran up to me and gave me the biggest hug. He said, you saved my life. And I said, well, how did that happen? I said, first of all, you saved your life. I said, but how do you feel that I saved your life? He said, man, when you took me down to that meeting, you know what happened? I said, no, I haven't saw you. He said, I got a sponsor. He said, now I own my own business. I've been having my business for 2 years. He said, I work with youth and, my business is going good. He said, man, thank you. And I was like, okay. I said, you're so welcome. I said, but you did that because you asked for help. You were the one that said if you walk up out of there, you was going to use.
Yes,
I
yes.
said, I could have easily walked up out of there and made the choice to use, but
Mhm.
you made the choice to save your life in that moment.
Mhm.
So it's I get like these things all the time and it's a two-way fall because when we're given something, it's our responsibility to do the next right thing. I always say, what's the next right thing? Like, even though it's illegal for me to put him in my car because I don't got insurance on him and I don't know what he was going to do when I got him in that car, the way he was fiending and wanted to use and all that and stuff. But I knew like I had to be obedient to spirit, which was like, put him in the car and take him down here. It was a blessing. I had those resources. I knew where to take them. We've got to listen to the spirit. A lot of people don't know how to do that. And I understand that not knowing too. And so it has been um, a practice for me, and I've learned it, and I'm so thankful because it's really what saves my life. You know, listening to my spirit is what really fully saves my life. I'll see people talking crazy on the street, saying all kind of stuff, and sometimes my spirit be like, "Don't you interrupt? Don't you say a word? Just let them have and let them do their thing." And other times I'll hear people crazy on the street and stuff, and my spirit is just like, "Just say something. Just tell them."
Well, hey, Liba, I know you said that you had to go to another meeting, and I don't want to overhold you, and but I have extremely, immensely enjoyed your uh, understanding of the human body, the human mind, and what we need to do to succeed. And
Yeah.
it is really great to have you, and I can listen to you all day long.
Thank you
But
for having me. I'll just leave my information.
yeah, definitely.
If anyone wants to get a hold of me and talk further on this or what have you, it's Libah, Lib, as in boy, AH, Libah. which means love in German. Shepherd, Sheppard. My number is 415-845-7774. And then my email address is my first name, Libah, and my last name, Sheppard, the number one at gmail.com. So it's Libah Sheppard and then the number one at gmail.com. And I'll be more than glad to talk with anyone that want to dive more into the healing process and just support because that's what we need. And Franklin, I want to give kudos to you just for all that you do on the planet, all the work that you do. You are absolutely amazing. You're one of the people that I truly admire. You put your money where your mouth is, and you walk, you take your strides, you do all these things, and I think it is so amazing that you're doing what you're doing. You're well needed on the planet, and so thank you for being you.
Yeah, thank you, Leva. I really appreciate you. As I said, you were the first person I thought of when I looked at launching this Tip Grow channel. I said, boy, I got to get in touch with Leva because she has all this knowledge of transformation and helping people and seeing people's lives transformed. And so hopefully, this is the first show, and hopefully we can figure out something that we can have you to be a part of this on an ongoing basis. We figure out, I don't know, we'll
I
talk.
would love to. Yeah, I would love to.
We'll talk. Okay.
All righty.
Thank you so
Be
much.
well.
Okay, you too. Bye
All
bye.
right. That's it.
Okay,
Peace. Enjoy your life.
you too. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.